Santa Monica is here, and are we? We're live from Santa Monica on the promenade in downtown. The area we're in is literally called downtown Santa Monica, so it made me wonder how deep like Santa Monica goes and where it changes and things. I don't tend to venture around too much. I've been to Habit Kinney, I've gone to the ice cream parlor, I went to the beach once or twice. There's a Scottish chip shop down there. Apart from that, I stay here and I play Counter-Strike when I'm not watching it. This is all we do.
Elo
or it's
quest.
most certainly all I do. What?
You're on the Elo quest.
I'm on the Elo
You're like
quest.
Frodo trying to deliver the ring into Mount Doom.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm teasing. I've been teasing level 5, and maybe after today's show, I will reach level 5. Then again, maybe I won't. I am joined by Dan. I'm joined by Eric. Together, we will be bringing you the remainder of Week 5 of ECS. We are in semi-final territory. Let's have a look at the bracket. We're in North America now, as opposed to Europe, where we just saw Fnatic successful. X-Singularity lost to E-United yesterday, but got revenge by smashing us on FACEIT late last night. But United are going to be the ones who make it to the final. But who will join them? ATK versus MIBR. This is one of the most interesting matchups of the week as far as I am concerned. Styles make fights, and ATK, they are hungry. They are salivating. They want a W. MIBR still building. A lot more experience of higher tier Counter-Strike, but can they topple the likes of ATK? This really, honestly, this is a super interesting matchup for me. I think Dan is mentally stimulated by the likes of ATK as well. Eric, what do you think of this matchup?
I'm actually liking it too, because I want to see ATK. I think they have a lot of potential in becoming, a closer top team in NA. And I think that's rising stars like Floppy, who's been pretty much on a tear the last 6 months, and who knows, maybe ATK can beat MIBR.
It's hard to find drive and what's the word I'm looking for? Drive and discipline with up and coming like young players in North America, especially. You see the complaints about like how FPL is in America versus Europe, for example, where there's a lot more discipline and there's just a different culture here. But definitely with the verbalizing of the ATK players on Twitter and so on, and what we see from them, even playing with MOTM before, we can see that they work really damn hard, and they can see the opportunity ahead of themselves, and that's something which I feel like is rare, especially as a unit in North American Counter-Strike at that stage where you're kind of coming up at the moment. So that's really cool to see from them.
It's like a team's team. They are like when we've seen them play really well. It's never like one guy standing out too much. It's just like they're doing stuff as a team. That's what really stands out. And I love that about teams. It's always really, really awesome to see that. I think when Furia burst onto the scene, it felt like Furia were that kind of team. Obviously, they had some star potential, certain players that were highlighted, like in the case Serato at the time. But ultimately, it was about the fact that they had such good spacing, and everyone was so clearly on the same page how the team plays Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they're a Brazilian team, though. And I feel like Brazil, coming from a complete different culture and country, that's a different story in that, like KNG said in an interview where he's from, you can't fail. That isn't necessarily the case from a team who are born and bred in North America, slash Canada, if there are any Canadians there. But that's why it's all the more impressive for me in terms of ATK, because they don't have those kind of social, economical, cultural pressures like teams from up-and-coming places like Brazil have. So that makes it all the more interesting for me. Ironic they're playing a Brazilian team, which go back to Games Academy and so on. And here are the maps. Mirage will be picked by MIBR, Inferno by ATK, and Dust 2. This is a perfect storm. Honestly, I think stylistically, and with these maps, I think this is a perfect storm for these two guys to go head-to-head and have an explosive series of Counter-Strike. But now come the predictions. And my question is, who is going to be brave? I'm starting with Sliggy, because he's one of the more out there guys with the predictions. What do you think? Where are you going? Where does your prediction lie?
So with what we've seen so far, I'm going to genuinely just say that ATK does look like a better team. So ATK.
Respect. Okay. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going ATK as well. I think the same thing that what Sliggy said. I mean, whilst MIBR have resilience, whilst they have amazing players, there's this connectedness, this mental connectedness between the players of ATK that, for me, I think gets them out of a lot of tricky situations, and they might actually just be able to run over MIBR in the perfect storm.
So I was thinking ATK before anyone said anything because I thought, they're playing well, but now everyone's picking ATK. And the thing with MIBR, they have a very good mid-game, late, best-of-3 kind of game plan, so let's go with ATK.
Okay.
You're trying to sell us on the.
So
the
I'm kind of feeling that ATK, but there is an interesting scenario here. Let's not forget when we first saw best of 3 from Sharks, and they played Liquid, and they looked awesome, and they smashed Liquid more or less in that 2-0. They looked really cool, but then what we saw from later games from them was complete inconsistency. So I fear that that's in the back of my mind, and I think that I'm going to pick ATK, right? But I don't know if we're going to see that kind of thing from them, or if we're going to see some more consistency. But from what we've seen so far, just going from what we've seen from them, I think they're hungry enough to do it. I think it would be an upset, but I'm kind of feeling it. From what we've seen from MIBR, we've seen a struggle. Was it the Quest? They went to beat 2-1. Yeah. I think that ATK. I know it's hard. It's weird. I think there are some pros for the Quest which might not necessarily be here for ATK. So this is like really crazy. Wow. I'm kind of like I'm excited for all of us to pick the underdog, but like I think there's a world where ATK win, okay? But I also think that MIBR, if they start off well, they might just out-aim them and just crush them. Yeah. Right? Or have like 16-10 and kind of scoreline. So I think these two things are possible. Either we get like 16-10s or worse with MIBR winning, or ATK upset, but like it might be a struggle, but then it might not be. They might kind of make MIBR look like they don't know what they're doing. Not to say that they do, but it might look that way. I don't know.
The only two teams in North America right now that have consistency is Liquid and EG. Everybody else kind of like, I think I mentioned this before, just in flux. And ATK are one of the teams that have looked the best. Like Complexity trying to fix their roster issues. MIBR just not really able to find their footing against a team like the Quest. It should be a clean 2-0, but they're not showing that. There's obviously there's still some issues for them. Who else? We've got Furia. Obviously that probably should be the third spot, but they're a little bit up and down as well, honestly.
One thing to consider as well is the perspective of both teams. For ATK, this is an enormous opportunity for them. It's like a huge opportunity to put themselves under the spotlight. For MIBR, it is a tournament they've been to before, obviously, and considering they have the biggest audience in Brazil, they're getting invited to every tournament, so it's not as special for MIBR. No tournament is as special for MIBR as the equivalent would be for ATK. So they're going to be like playing like it's a major final, basically. Whereas MIBR, it might be hard to have that level of focus until your back is really against the wall. So at that point, if that's what happens, then I think there's a chance ATK can just have a good shot to take it over the line. So here are the opinions of the people, and this is fine. I think 27% is actually like around 30. I think is pretty solid for ATK. I think that's really good, all things considered. The brand power, the star power, and the history and the trophy cabinet of the likes of MIBR versus ATK. This is pretty cool. But what do Pinnacle think? They can't have ATK as a favorite. You just can't. It's not allowed, apart from us. But for them, that would be crazy. 2.56. We've all gone with ATK. Maybe you will too. Let us know. I'm actually very curious to see what people at home think. Who do you think is going to win? But also why you think MIBR or ATK will win. So send me a tweet, #ECS8, and let us know what you think. I am super, super curious, and we don't have long to wait because the game is about to start. Will it be T side or CT side for ATK? We will see. It will be MIBR who will start defending. And definitely, we've spoken about ETK a lot, but MIBR are, of course, a team with a lot to prove. They've made plenty of changes in the last 2 years or so, and I think they've come to a head now with the likes of KNG on the team. Previously, he wasn't allowed, but here he is. Let's see what they can do.
Two-man push and underpass. Will ATK be expecting this? I would imagine that they would have done some research on MIBR in the lead-up to this game, and MIBR, if they're serious about this, they should have done the same for ATK. So definitely a lot of interesting things to think about in terms of tendencies, because MIBR certainly have a lot, especially with his aggressions. But we'll get the push in underpass now from Fallen. Taco with a fantastic angle, but the trade comes through. Fallen on the flank with a USP, and that's going to be very, very annoying indeed. Will they actually check for this in any reasonable moment? It does seem like they have a player advance, so it looks like they have the ability to do this. And in fact, indeed, JT picks up the kill. Trade through from Fur, from Cat. as we go into the 3 versus 3. But the bomb is now ticking away, and First trying to make his way forward. It's the double peek there. That's the team play we're talking about. My goodness. Look how they faced, look how they clearly commed that extremely well. Just a triple peek onto Fur and then just dealt with the market players afterwards. That's so well done.
All you gotta do is say peek, 3, 2, 1, go. See in a habit of comms, peek together, make your life a lot easier. And I think ATK, I think one of the X factors for the team is OC.
Yeah.
Because he is their main opper, and you're playing against Fallen and KNG, who can both just turn up with an op. He's going to have to get in their heads early and op them early in the series for ATK to win.
Alright, well, improvised top con smoke here. ATK know they're up against pistols.
Everything we just saw, like no one is capable of doing in our parties. All
What?
5 of us are here. This just never happens.
Talking about peeking together.
A mid take with a smoking connector. We can't. All 5 of us here. We can't achieve that.
I could throw smoke there.
Yeah, you can, but it
We
would
just
like
need 2 other.
together. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't
Eric.
happen
It doesn't
together.
happen. We have problems. We need a therapist.
Just all we need to know is the window smoke. That's all you guys need to learn is
Yeah,
window
but they-
smoke. I could
but
do
they
any
can't.
other one. I could do cat. I could do top con.
This is why I say they're the same as me.
Just learn window smoke, guys. That's all you need.
I can do all those smokes too.
Can you?
You say that,
Yeah.
but most of the time you mess it up.
I
The
don't- I
window,
never
the
mess
window
up.
one
I'd never missed the windows.
is
one.
unreliable. Oh, that is a blatant lie. Fur has been taken out in the window. Speaking of, ATK's patience has paid off, and that frag will activate ATK as they make their way towards the A-bomb site, but Lucas has done a lot of damage. He is notable for his Desert Eagle, and he's showing why KNG now remains in a 1 versus 2, and there might be a weapon for him to collect if he goes out the window. However, we have a lurker in a short position now. He's been spotted, but Floppy doesn't necessarily have the right tool for the job with the MAC-10. KNG has no Kevlar, however. He'll put a smoke into connect to get a 1 versus 1. There's a rifle ahead of him. He's in the smoke. He falls back, and that might be an issue. Oh, Floppy wasn't expecting that. Well then, he'll get caught going back through the smoke once again by Sonic, and it works out for ATK. An expensive one. Some warning shots fired by the likes of Lucas and co. But it will be the clean sheet for ATK.
Pretty expensive round, but MIBR did force spy, so they have to save up here. Maybe a couple utility, maybe another Deagle at P250.
The weird thing about this MIBR lineup is that every player is extremely good on MIBR, and they all have their own style, and they all are very experienced. But I kind of need to think about them as a completely new team almost, because I always, with the Brazilian core, I keep thinking about the 2016 Brazilian core, and it's just not the same anymore. It's just a different era. Either way, the anti-eco comes in form of an ace set piece, which I really like. Because if you have the Molotovs in the most dangerous positions, the smoke's down, the pistols can't really do that much. And I think this is underutilized, just running a set piece, just straight into a set piece on rounds like this. And it's going to work out really well here for ATK. And another point about why it's strong is because one of the reasons the pistols can be dangerous is because they're very mobile. They can move together very quickly and reposition very often. And if that is the case, that you then just run a set piece, well, they can't do any of those things. They have to retake, you have a guaranteed bomb plant, and they don't have a kit, so they can't really win the rounds.
One thing I didn't mention, actually, was the South Africans from ATK. I remember, like, you see the Bravado sticker on, I think it's Sonic's AK. And I remember when Bravado were trying to get opportunities for their South African team, they made really well-polished presentations. I have one in my email from them, multiple pages of, you know, what they were trying to do and details on the team and information and stuff. And, you know, that succeeded to a certain point, but then they had to split up. You see 2 of the players here on the ATK team. What?
Cancel
Window smoke.
strat.
That's no window smoke for them. Is it going to cost them though? Oh, yep, it's definitely going to cost them. How much? Only just the 1. Oof. KNG gets caught though, he gets pinged. Taco's there for the cover. This is a little bit touch and go here for ATK. KNG still alive at the end of the balcony. They don't have to commit to this, but maybe they want to. They've invested so much. And KNG will finally go down. It's a 1v3 now for Sonic. Oh, he needed that kill. He needed that kill. And it's over.
If you botch a smoke on a set piece like that, you need to cancel. You just can't. You just can't do it.
It's rough, isn't it? It is really rough. If Fallen doesn't get that kill, maybe that's the tipping point. That extra player.
There's a flashbang for that position. Basically, you just need to throw it deep to the left of the window, so it bounces backwards deep enough to flash it. It's a very necessary flashbang. And one that won't happen on this occasion. Smokes in the window. Molotov didn't really put it out, it seems. But we'll try to hold on to connector. Very fast start to the round. ATK with intentions towards the mid position. They will quietly make their way towards the window. They could boost on the rail outside of it. Oh, the elbow's been spotted by Fern. That's enough for a frag.
Meanwhile, presence made on A ramp by Sonic, trying to harass, force out utility. He's forced back though, down to 10 HP. And ATK, they're gonna have to be very creative in rounds like this. They've got only a single smoke left. So, you know, how do you finish on a bomb site? MIBR have a really passive setup here. I like this. This is just very bog standards, classic. Okay, we got a kill. They've used a lot of utility. Let's just give up middle and connector. And they're playing very commonly used positions. It's hard to deal with.
Your angle by Toll Booth. That won't be enough though for creeping with the AWP. KNG was close to the flick, but OC has the angle. Fur and Taco now. And now it's just Taco with the French gun behind the Molotov. He has an angle for the bomb, but he won't get the kill. Now ATK will switch out a second AWP before I can even mention it, which is good. And they go to 4-1. So far so good for ATK, but it will be a long series versus MIBR. So nobody should be getting too excited, but it shows promise.
One thing to mention, by the way, is that the double ult support immediately by MIBR. That's going to be very painful on the economy to lose all that straight away.
It was a poor 5-on-3 situation for MIBR as well. They kept peeking individually. It gave way too many, like 2-on-1 in favor of ATK. And then 5-on-3, just peek together, please.
Good flash work, far and close. Stop those pushes doing any damage. The anti-ecos so far have been really good from ATK. They enter every round with a mission. I don't actually know that you could shoot back from that spot, actually.
You mean on top?
No, from like the guy on the A ramp was shooting the guy who was on the railing.
You saw his tippy toes. You can see your tippy toes.
I didn't realize there was an angle there. Oh, look at the way that the round started, and now they're just going to finish by moving together really quickly on this B split. Good coordination, nice pick up from Fallen, but again, everybody's together. Oh, another nice eagle shot here, causing some problems, but ultimately, again, ATK all grouped up together, so they limited the damage. I think this is the reason why ATK stand out to us. If you look at the multi-phases in this round, starts off with like somewhat of a default, and then into just a B split, where basically the spacing in both parts of the split is perfect, and they utilize their utility very effectively to get past the dangerous positions as quickly as possible with the aid of the utility.
5-1. MIBR don't have much to show. I think, as of yet, I think in the last Mirage we saw from MIBR, they were pretty much hell-bent on forcing in the 2 AWPs, and it is already starting to remind me of Flipside with World Edit and Simple, where they tried to force the 2 AWPs, and it was just so brittle, and they didn't have so much impact. I think they have stronger snipers overall in terms of playstyle from the likes of World Edit here on MIBR, but they may have the same results.
Yeah.
Again, it is still early, so the sample size is small. But we don't see double AWP on CT Mirage all too often, and I'd say you're more likely to see it as an opportunity to pick up than otherwise, and it's probably for a reason, but we may see more evidence of that as this continues. Lucas above the shadow position will be good, but only for the one frag. There are 2 players here. That's a quick one from Fallen, but he misses the shot. And KNG will be taken out by JT. Speaking of fast, OC is ready for this matchup on Mirage. Fallen and Taco falling back. Nervous positions. The numbers game abused very well by ATK. Double peeks towards the jungle position, and MIBR seem lost.
What a sick round. You know, it's a team that likes to use set pieces. They decide to just have three players ready to burst a ramp whilst the players are positioned around connector, so the timing works out, so that the players burst a ramp and then the connector attack comes in to sandwich at the same time, and it's just really fast. There's no warning. MIBR even at positions where they were not going to get flashed, yet they still got absolutely wrecked. So
yeah, timing and peaks from MIBR seem really off right now. Like there's no situations where the CTs are peaking together. It's just too many individual play. You can't do that at this level, even against ATK.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a flash. That's a great punish as well. That's a good read. You know, having seen that position a couple of times now, there's an exploitation for MIBR. And I'll get them an AK-47 and a kill. And also the information around a ramp. Very, very vital. And B-split was what they did, ATK did previously in a round like this. MIBR ready for it.
Oh, again, we've seen so many deagle shots from the likes of Lucas and Taco, but how many rounds have they resulted in? Not all that many just yet, but Taco finds his third 1-deag of this round. And that's a rifle that maybe he will collect. MOTM's surely going down for free here, so there is perhaps light at the end of the tunnel for MIBR. They take 3 weapons into the next round from that one. That will give them some extra money in the bag. The loss bonus will sink a little.
Yeah.
But ATK will be back. These rounds, again, they're not replicable, but they maybe momentum is enough. If they can start a train with that round and run with it now. Still early in this game of Mirage.
It's scary because, like you mentioned, James, it does hurt MIBR's loss bonus, so it could kind of work out perfectly for ATK, given that MIBR haven't seemingly solved ATK's rounds. And ATK seem very unpredictable. You know, last buy round we had that burst onto A, and now we've got just a rush into B bomb site.
I love it. They only know that one player was in the balcony. There's normal lurker stuff, but again, Taco, he's got the upgrade now, and he finds himself a third kill. Getting shot in the head through the wall, I would presume. Taco's had a really tough task on this B bomb site. He's been playing really well for MIBR in general, and he continues to do so on Mirage, putting them in a very good spot to close out round number 9.
Yeah, that position he's playing around default seems to be specifically where he plays very often, and I wouldn't be surprised if he'll start throwing a Molotov for that spot, because it seems very commonly used in the meta right now, this particular spot, and no one ever really checks it in a way in which it's easily tradable.
Now you're exposed to other positions, so it's catching people off guard. That's a huge round. Look what it's done to the money of ATK. We spoke about momentum. Map 1 ATK have become a favorite early. Maybe we made the Pinnacle boys nervous, but that might change again if MIBR can keep this up, because they've put ATK on pistols. Again, it's early. No panic just yet. Lucas dealing with players ahead of the smoke. Will be low on bullets though with that spray out to the deagle. And there's a rifle to be collected, but a reload is required. They're lining up for KNG. He'll take both. Sonic is left. The smokes are up. It's 1 versus 2. He's got 17 bullets. There's plenty of chance. He was close to Fallen. Fallen will clap back, but there's no connection. Inviting a peek. Sonic's playing for the win. Rotates towards CT. He has so much time on the clock. Walks back into the angle though, and Fallen has got his Spider-Man game on. And the round will be with MIBR.
I was wondering if he was going to walk to B there. That would have been really interesting. I was hoping for that.
The long con.
Yeah. If not for Taco with those 2 ridiculous rounds, MIBR would probably still be suffering. So, you know, plaudits to Taco. Really well played.
Taco really holding down the B, just pretty much gave MIBR 3 rounds, or 2 of them leading up to that 3rd round. Fallen's been throwing that Molotov every round. It gives a one-way smoke. Sometimes we saw previously it didn't give a one-way.
Wow.
All right.
Seems fair.
ATK prioritizing possession of mid. I'm sure his aggression will grow. MOTM must be careful because AWPs are lurking, but that is a really cheeky second kill. And look at the deletions across the map. Taco is left with the M4A fill. Maybe the game is to avoid Taco at this point. He's been such a problem. 10 kills already for him. And he continues to move forwards. The bomb just leaving top mid now, being careful about the apartments. It's a long rotation, and Taco will be able to take some kind of position. He may hear that rotation in T-spawn. OC will make his way. Now what does Taco choose to do? With the bomb not being planted, he may choose to go for it or hide in plain sight. See if he's given an opportunity. If he heads towards Palace, for example, then maybe there's something to be done. But it's a long walk. It's a pilgrimage towards the A-bomb site. A pilgrimage which may end in disaster.
Yeah, there's a good spot here for OC. He's going to take a good peek. Well played, checking everything, being very disciplined about it. And ATK will take down MIBR. So MIBR, in winning 3 rounds in a row, you know, they have no loss bonus due to that fact. They reset it completely. And what they also managed to do is have just enough money in the bank for 1 buy. They have to convert this buy. If they don't, ATK could really realistically get to 10 rounds without too much issue. So this is a really pivotal round, I would say, for MIBR if they want to have a comeback here. They must win this one.
Again, ATK with that mid possession, prioritizing, they're convincing MIBR to focus on mid and its associated choke points. Maybe ATK play surprise later on, but MIBR are playing passive to give it up. They won't try to win the game in mid.
And look at how everything gets Molotov, everything's flashed, it's so organized.
Timing's so crisp on the
It's really good, isn't it? But as the smoke goes away, Fallen is crisp with a headshot onto MOTM. So as good as that is, I mean, MIBR are playing against that. And they'll get their first kill. They also have Taco deep in the apartments. Fur caught creeping. ATK, I think, clearly are positioning themselves for a split of the B bomb site. Taco looking away, he'll be checked for, but the flashbang is a problem. KNG with the counter flash, shutting down the push, and despite how nice it looked in mid, they get 0 kills in that round, ATK, and they're back into eco territory.
Yeah, B splits aren't really in the meta to any large degree, because they're pretty hard to set up, and secondly, they can be quite telegraphed, and if you don't get them really quickly, it's seemingly fairly easy to get the rotations in time. So it's been kind of cool to see that ATK have been going for a lot of the B splits, although now it hasn't been working. Taco's an absolute beast in this game, and we'll get the A split coming in. The A set piece. It's worked out for them before, but Fallen didn't get a pick immediately before.
Yeah, trying to spread with these pistols. We've got to creep through the smoke. That's such a nice flick from Fallen. He's warmed up, he's ready. That was satisfying to watch, but not satisfying to be a victim of if you're ATK. They're back on the bike. It's a quick round, it's a brief round. It was tried, it was failed, and it is on to the next one. How do they deal with adversity? Comes with experience as a unit, not just as individual players. And they're experiencing some now as they've won 1 round in the last 5, ATK, so the horizon is not looking so bright.
I want to see that 3-man burst again with the flash. One guy just chain flashing on a ramp. That was really effective. But looks like they'll run up catwalk for, and he's not blind enough. It seemed like he was some kind of blind, but KNG wouldn't expect him to be there after seeing Fallen in connector with the second orb. And I don't know how you deal with this position from KNG. He's definitely going to hit it. He's so fast.
ATK were released trying to sell the B fake there with the split through the catwalk position, but again, the experienced MIBR were ready for it, but JT has found a hole in the defenses. KNG of Fur have been taken out. There's a trade from Lucas. 2 versus 3, and there's a string of kills at the end there from MIBR. So you can see with the 2 grenades up on short, ATK trying to sell that short fake, loads of flashes. But even with the sprint towards the ladder position, there was no over-rotation from MIBR. They were calm. It's almost like they expected it to be A after that, with the positions taken on Palace and such.
Surprised ATK hasn't called timeout yet. They lost. They're 1 for 7 rounds right now. Just want to use up your timeouts, slow it down, reposition yourself, or rethink. But you know MIBR is having 2 ops. Do some more set pieces. Make them retake.
I wonder if timeout is considered as a sign of weakness for some.
Only losers think that way, James.
It's like at a high-stakes poker table, some people won't move their body, despite how no matter how uncomfortable they are, because it gives the appearance that they're uncomfortable with what's happening on the table, and is essentially a sign of weakness, which may just give confidence to your teammate, to your opponent rather. So there is a psychological thing to consider there, which might also have something to do with it.
What if I'm acting like that on purpose, so you think that way, and then you go all in?
Then you're up there on the IQ.
He's found a kill, and the bomb as well. There's no one that can really contest him from a weapon standpoint. Probably might get a kill here. Oh, Fallen. Doing Fallen things. And somehow MIBR actually managed to find 8 rounds at the end of the half. Very well played. Great recovery. Props to Taco. But can they continue it as we move into the second half? We'll see after the break.
Up your game. 128 servers for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to ECS Season 8, Week 5. We're trying to find out who will qualify to our finals in Arlington, Texas. And these teams are playing for a spot in the finals for this week. The winner will be against E United. But this is map 1, and it's an even affair between ATK and MIBR, as we see MIBR switching onto the T side. And they're going to go with a set piece on the A bomb sites to kick things off with.
Sonic fishing for something, just finding a boot so far, but maybe he'll find himself some salmon. There we go. Something for the bear to eat. OC will get taken out. He will be victimized as they look for Sonic, but he's got some backup. He's got 3 players. There's another one for Sonic now as they continue to press on towards the site. MOTM will pick one up. JT will fall. Man advantage, but for how long? It's going to get better actually for ATK.
Oh.
And there is the range of the Glock, just not doing enough. The headshots won't be enough. MOTM will get a cheap helmet because his Kevlar is untouched. Same for Sonic. Oh no, MOTM's got 9 damage done. Sorry. But Sonic, he has untouched armor with that headshot. The cheap helmet will be a bonus. Where the P250's at? It's all Glocks here for MIBR. And maybe they would have won the pistol had they had P250s instead.
One thing that's interesting here actually as well is that I don't think MIBR quite think to themselves that all 5 players will rotate through CT spawn. So you don't have every single MIBR player positioning in the most effective spots to deal with that. So that's a nice variation of that retake. Don't often see 5 go CT. I like it. We did 2-man setup here with close to A ramp. That's actually such a strong play. It's one of the best ways to shut down A ramp rushes. And MIBR do want to go for a split, and this is where the bomb is. So if they win A ramp, see the CTs of ATK, they're in a great step. Oh, the peak timing's not ideal. It's not looking good here for ATK. It's starting to fall apart, and indeed it has fallen apart, well and truly.
Double smokes, just to make sure, into the CT position, and the bomb's been planted. ATK have been outmaneuvered. That will be AFK on the A bomb site as they move towards B. Where's the gold FAMAS, JT?
I like this one, it's nice.
It's not gold though, is it? The gold goes with everything, it contrasts.
I think this looks better than the gold one.
You are out of your mind.
I can't remember what this one's called, but it's really
called
nice.
not the gold one, that's what it's called.
It's orange as well, like FACEIT. FACEIT colours. It's FACEIT colours, it's orange
It's
and
in
grey.
that direction, but it's not.
Orange and grey.
It's more red than the FACEIT colours. It's kind of.
No, it's not, it's orange and grey.
Pretty distant from the FACEIT colours, actually.
What do you mean?
Gold. Gold FAMAS. Gold FAMAS is the final boss FAMAS. You do more damage. I got a 4K with the FAMAS, with the gold one. I've never got a 4K with FAMAS before. I was abandoned by my B teammate on Inferno, but I had the gold FAMAS. It was all I needed.
It's the worst gun in the game.
It depends on the hands it's in.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
MIBR are now in the lead. Times have changed. ATK, they had promise early in the first half, but the winds have gone in the other direction. Maybe it's the winds of winter. That's some information for MIBR. However, it may be costly to do something with that information. Fallen is looking perhaps, oh, that's a big flashbang, but there's no, ATK's got tunnel vision. He's just not checking. What's the purpose of the flash? Sonic will just try to avert crisis. There are 3 players remaining, but KNG is waiting. And this is surely, oh god, maybe some experience here for MIBR, trumping ATK in this round because mistakes were made.
Nice timing from Floppy though to swing things back in ATK's favor. And let's not forget that OC's sitting on the bomb right now. He's been sitting on it for so long, wouldn't be surprised if it hatched soon. And we'll see whether
You
or
should
not
honestly be put in jail for your jokes. You should be put in jail.
it's not a joke. It's just
You spent too much time in the
this is
country.
the thing that someone said. Okay, Fallen and Taco making their way forwards now onto the A site. Big flash. Oh, they turned away. But Floppy will clean up. Great recovery from ATK. That almost went wrong. I can't quite believe how solid that pop flash was at underpass, which I think is what made it so disappointing that they didn't get anything from it.
There's 2 spots you can look. Coming up the stairs. Towards TV or DP halls. He didn't even look towards TV side. Doesn't even care.
If you think that Dan's humor is about 30 years out of date, at least, type 1 in the chat.
It's not a joke, James.
What was it then? What was that supposed to be? That hurt me. That hurt me physically. MIBR trying to consolidate their problems as they focus on the B bomb site. They have 2 pistols, 3 rifles on the 5 MIBR players, and that is some hefty damage. Very well placed Molotov, and KNG will touch it slightly. The CTs are close enough to know that somebody is lurking, and now more presence is shown from MIBR, but they will rotate most of their players away. Lucas will show... Oh, I like this reset from MIBR. This is smart. Just like we said in the first half, when the smoke didn't hit the window on the T side of MIBR, like, okay, this is not going to happen. Let's just start again. It's not an easy decision to make, but definitely the best one.
Can't force it.
Yes. And again, this is maybe experience coming into play for MIBR, which might be their trump card in this series.
Yeah, not enough teams reset after stacking B-apps. But there's still work to be done. They're creeping up. Cat, that should have been a free kill there from Etienne, but instead he will fall. Floppy and OC, though, will be able to take some kills, and they understand what's happening now. They understand it's going to be a B split, it seems, or at least at this point, they're not overstepping things. They know that the Ts are contained, and the time is against the T side as well, so they need to make a maneuver, and they'll maneuver straight into the Krieg of Floppy, leaving KNG to just back away in middle. And so looking pretty good for ATK right now. Didn't the famous wasn't it called the Clarion in Source? Was it
Probably 1.6, yeah.
Wasn't 1.6 Clarion?
And Burst Fire was great for that gun.
Dude, it was so sick. It was so satisfying.
Why is Burst Fire so bad in this game?
It would be. It would make
Got to
the
let go
gun.
of the past, Bears.
You have an SG, which is the best gun in the history of CSGO.
It's true,
And
actually.
CS in general, the best
no,
gun
no,
ever.
No, the revolver.
Okay, you're right on that
The
one.
revolver had AWP bullets in a pistol.
So it's
Well,
just proof that they don't know what they're
But
doing.
the revolver got patched within like a day.
No,
whereas-
it was like 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks of people just buying that every single
We've
round.
had 5 years of this. These people didn't know to buy it. Yeah.
I bought it.
FAMAS is the worst gun.
So
in
did
the game.
MBK. MBK was buying it long ago. I didn't get right.
It's true.
We were cool before it went mainstream. We were the OG Avril Lavigne fans.
Dude, Threat was telling me like years ago that the Krieg would be a big thing, and he couldn't understand why it wasn't happening as well.
Threat was also saying years ago he puts his jeans in the freezer.
The mad scientist.
He is. Gave him the big hair. Could be Doc from Back to the Future. He's got the eyes for it. ATK are in the lead once more. MIBR have KNG fishing for something. I love the hero AWP rounds. Versus Pro made them famous on Cash. With the likes of Pasha. Classic versus Pro. Saw some really nice highlights from him. And there we go, it begins. MOTM trying to reposition, but you can't do that for free. This is not Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers does not have AWPs.
Once you've spotted, this position is pretty bad, so you got to, he falls out of it, which is really smart. Got to get another frag out of it, maybe more to be had, as there is some peeking, jiggling around the stairs position, and OC is absolutely getting rid of every single assailant into this A-bomb site. There's none left. There's a man waiting for the package on CT, but it's been rejected. My God, I did not expect it to be so clean. OC seemed to be the special sauce in this round with that Krieg.
Man waiting with a special package. The dream of many a Hindu. No dreams here for MIBR though, just a nightmare. The AWP lost after KNG's opening kill. And ATK make it to 11. That's 4 rounds from 5, just as we saw late success from MIBR. We see early success from ATK on their CT side. And look how well equipped they are. Got all the tools they want. Some spray from MOTM as he looks for Ts to spread beyond the smoke. They run into it, they jump out of it. MIBR looking to catch players by surprise. There's a lineup for the window smoke. Connor moved away from it so he could deny knowing how to line this up. Something is spotted there by MOTM. Fur is punished for his insolence, and we have a 5 versus 4 situation for ATK as they look to make it to 12.
They don't have any connector presence right now. MOTM is the guy that kind of plays that position, rotating around, but you got OC towards CT. He's supposed to be the one to lock it down. Now there's problems. MOTM needs to be able to find a way to get Smackman in here because Sonic is going to be discovered. MOTM is a little bit slow, but still, he looked good for that second kill, but he does get denied ultimately as JT swings around in his Krieg. That's been pretty good. It's not impossible here, given that they do have quite a lot of utility. They both have Kriegs as well, and it's like a little on-fall, and he's weak also. But it is a question of finding a way in. Maybe they want to keep these Kriegs as well. There comes the pressure. One spotted on a ramp. That's info given to Floppy. Ooh, JT can't find a way to do it.
Yeah, it's a rough smoke diffuse because it's such an easy lineup with the shape of the bomb site. There isn't a whole lot of space to hide there. And MIBR will keep the score close and they'll make it expensive. OC popped by Lucas. KNG stopped in exactly the right position to make that peak.
Yeah. they've seen Sonic there a couple times before now. I don't think he can keep sort of playing that spot in those situations. Has to mix it up a little bit. Maybe take a gamble. Push a ramp or push Palace or something could be effective. And this is an interesting moment in the match now because ATK's money's a little bit dodgy on 3 players, but 2 players just buy up orbs. But this is the moment where if their money gets broken, MIBR take momentum. However, the same goes for MIBR. If they lose, then ATK will get the momentum. So really huge moment at the end, the tail end of this first map to determine who will have an advantage leading into the second map. And I really don't know which way this one's going to go. It's hard to predict that is for sure. Fer might have a timing on Sonic here. Will there be a flashbang? No. Kenji does not have a flash from top mid. He has no nades. Maybe he creeps into the reticle.
Guess Fer heard the fallback from Sonic. Seems aware that somebody might be lurking. I like the idea behind the HE grenade. And at the 1 minute mark, MIBR with 0 sound given will be heading towards A. Now Floppy, I think, is looking through the apartments, which is allowing 4 players to be here for ATK. Deflected bait set up in a shadow position. OC will be the initial engager, nothing doing there. Now, did the timing of the smoke give information to MIBR? So he's waiting for Palace, but he's peeked from the top of triple. That's the awareness from KNG with these angles. Round after round is fantastic with the Krieg. He's got all the kills in this round so far, although MOTM is still in the smoke. But where are the other MIBR players? One above him, one by jungle. He's in trouble. He needs help from Floppy. There's a HE, another Molotov. He's got some space, but surely he will be peaked eventually. There it is, and Floppy's left now. And 1 versus 3 with an AWP. He doesn't have a defuse kit. There might be one on a site, but he is going to get absolutely smoked by Taco. And they might be able to take 2 AWPs into the next round. So it looks like they will take the opportunist snipers in most, if not all, situations. But KNG, these angles are awesome.
Yeah, that's really brilliant. I think if ATK, I don't think they had a flashbang in Shadow, but if just like one flashbang, the one you bounce off the ladder to flash the Tetris players.
I was hoping that they had one of them at least.
That could have just won them the round there, because if they stop one of those players, at least 1 for 1 before the first MP9 guy dies, it might have just been enough there. That was a lot closer, I think, than it looked.
It did, and we're not seeing the same level of teamwork from ATK on their T side. Seems like CT side was more disjointed. Now, you could take it a little bit because of MIBR. They're just working the map pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know why people still do that. I've seen that punished literally every time I've seen it. It gets punished. I think it was Sandy that got absolutely wrecked at the major doing that.
Yeah.
And he did it more than once as well.
Well, 4 USPs for ATK. We're getting into the late game and their money is broken. Their loss bonus is in the bin. It's with a cat litter. The doghouse. And other such places. MOCM and OC left. Little swing, and a swing and a miss. 3 rounds in a row from MIBR. They find their momentum late on again, but at the most important point. Now, I do wonder if ATK are aware of these 2 AWPs, what their approach will be. MIBR will be fishing for peaks. They'll be fishing for angles. How do you avoid those without giving up too much map control?
Just gotta go off angles everywhere. Just do like 4-person off angle, and 1 person can be kind of afloat.
OC makes it quickly to the short position. We've got a spread in mid, and he won't be ready for it. Still moving around. MOTM being sprayed as well. Pre-fired by MIBR. He'll take out the short player with a support flashbang, looking for another one. Is he going to make a play? Here it comes. He'll take one out. The transfer for Fer. Great response. Trying to go back into connector. He will get taken out by Fallen. 2 versus 3. Taco on the ramp with the Krieg. Got to take the right fight. That one looks awkward. Wasn't really ready for it. Falls back to stay alive.
Such a fight in middle. Lots of time here. Oh, the angle. Beautiful response from Fallen. And that's an open B bomb side, or maybe it's not. We do have a JT on the way. Molotov will deny him jumping through the window, perhaps, or maybe not. He's going to go straight past it. That will deny an instant plant. Fallen has no support right now, and he's going to get the headshot. Of course, it's the headshot. And now it's down to Sonic. He's picked up an orb. Can he catch Fallen? Repositioning. Yeah, oh, I thought that was absolutely on for Sonic. I feel like his odds to win this one now dwindle enormously, but still finds another shot as Fallen goes for the peak for the punish. More flashbangs are thrown out, and Sonic has an incendiary, but so does Taco. Does Taco have the lineup from there? He does. This is rough for Sonic.
He's going for the frag, but he needs to find a kit, otherwise this is undoable. There's no kit. Even if he gets the kill, it's too late, but he will make it as expensive as possible, and he might just escape. It was a nice effort, but Eric, I saw you wincing. What happened?
Again, ATK had, they're up in numbers, and we talked about MIBR having 2 ops that round. There's no reason to be peeking in those kind of scenarios. Just let them come to the bomb site. I know you have to feel like you want to find info like right there. You don't need to push. It's just driving me crazy. Seeing these people kind of toss away their advantages in important rounds.
Yeah, and that's where the experience comes in. Know your opponents and all that.
Oh, that's awesome. What a sequence from Sonic. I love that. I don't think I've seen anyone bounce the smoke preemptively like that. It's really cool. And obviously, it immediately gets rid of the Molotov that's automatically thrown into connector, so he doesn't even take any damage. But Fur, look at the timing. This is an unbelievable timing. He's so fast. They're never going to expect him to be here. Oh, he doesn't get the kills, though.
Can't be expecting 3 CTs to be coming out of Palace as you make your way through jungle. So that's really unfortunate. Doubles the rifles on ATK. And MIBR don't really have any position anywhere. ATK have abandoned the A bomb site though. They won't even leave a lurker in Palace or anything, so they've got no forward positions. There's no warning for rotation, no information place to be had. They've lost position entirely. MIBR don't know this, of course, and they've got to check all these angles, especially Shadow. There's a little jiggle in CT, and MOTM's going to get taken out. But again, there are no angles now for ATK. They do, however, have flashbangs, so something is possible here.
Verse plants. How do ATK want to attack this? I could easily see them losing everything that they have here. And do they want to do that, or do they want to commit everything? Gonna give it a go here. Pushing onto the bomb sites. Again, there's no kit to be found here, so they've got to find these kills quickly. Fallen will take down Sonic. That's the AWP gone. Don't know that anybody's going to collect that pressure on the bomb there, as it's getting tapped, but indeed they will all fall. And I do wonder about this one, as you say, they didn't have any positioning. Obviously, they have so much money here.
Where's the timeouts, ATK? Come on, please, use them. Stop the momentum of MIBR. I'm a very big fan of using timeouts. You have them. Use them. I know, James, you kind of think it's a sign of weakness, but as long as you get your team winning rounds, it's not weak, right?
It can, I'm not saying it always is, but it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be construed as that. I don't know how much that happens in professional CS, but like the equivalents in other things definitely can give rise to such a thing.
Well, we get a charge from KNG. He wanted a fast timing. He is unsuccessful, and that will gift ATK an early kill in this round. That's a really, really needed early advantage just to alleviate some pressure. They're against the ropes right now, and they need to find a way to fight back. Better angle for OC. Now it's 5 versus 3. This shouldn't be easy at all to recover. Well, ATK overplay their hands. Oh my goodness.
Well, there's the trade. The numbers are kept strong. Now, if they can identify that there are 2 players in mid, as they might from these grenades, then maybe Sonic goes towards Palace or ramp. It will be the ramp, but again, a deep position can be very common for a CT if you know for sure where roughly the remaining players are. There'll be no defense of mid now, 2 per bomb site, and there's a crossfire, so there's no MIBR to plant the bomb. However, they have time to set up some choke points. There's a connector smoke, there's a clue for ATK. JT makes his way in towards the crawl space now, and Floppy's gone deep in B apartment. So here's the information. OC is waiting for the peek from Fur, and Sonic will take out Lucas with that crossfire setup. Again, a common response on the CT side. The numbers are low on the T side, especially on Mirage. So many examples of that. You know where they are. They're in mid, take a forward position in Palace or ramp, and then there's it's very hard for the T's to maneuver afterwards if they do head towards that A bomb site. ATK has broken the streak of MIBR. Finally getting another round on the board after, is that 5? I think it's 5 from MIBR.
Everyone on ATK on 16 or 17 kills. It's like it just seems like such a consistency for them, just everyone is delivering.
There's the fast boost onto the platform. Can be compromised if you head towards the box, for example. Takes longer, and now things start to speed up out the window into the reticle of OC. Floppy's going to get one for free. This is an important round. They need to survive in numbers, ATK, and nobody will die. If MIBR win the next round, there are some padding for ATK, so they'll have no issue buying again. Worst case scenario ticked off, and the money is still rough for MIBR. We see 36.50 for Taco. Oh, I misread that. He had more than that. Not as bad as I might have thought. Still have a good level of grenades, so this is a big round for both teams.
See what's up MIBR sleeve here. They are sending a majority of their people towards the B halls, including the bomb. Making a little ruse towards the middle, little Molotov. Gotta keep the CTs honest. I'm pretty sure Floppy just spotted this.
Oh, he gets away in time. Oh, he gets that kill. I don't understand how that's possible. He gets a second one with the help of JT. JT has managed to arrive in time to really make things difficult for MIBR. Fallen with the forward position, has to deliver something, but OC has also now made his way to market. They've got control of the bomb as well. KNG, last man standing, has time but doesn't have the bomb. And it's really very difficult to get back into B at this point, so well played. I cannot believe that Floppy didn't die immediately. That was very fortunate for ATK. Felt like MIBR had him dead to rights. But he gets a kill and damage out of it before he dies. That was such a quick response from ATK. I'm always like really annoyed when you like fast burst the site and then there's just like 4 CTs there instantly. I'm like, how? Like, what is the science behind that?
Look at a two-man work. Not splitting up, but working together to trade. Organized, dedicated, hand in hand. Brothers in arms.
Yeah. South Africans sticking together.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool, isn't it?
Nothing for KNG to do but try to survive. Staring at the wall. And there we go, it's 14-14. Look at the money for MIBR. KNG sacrificed. He didn't try to do damage. He held onto his weapon. His money is not together with his team. This is a very precarious situation for MIBR. But we've seen a few mistakes from ATK, a few things we put down to a deficit in experience versus the veterans of MIBR. And there may be something to be done here. They will go for the force by the Brazilian squad. The loss bonus is rising. A bomb plant will be critical. But of course, they're playing for a round win.
Bomb's been left towards the B apps entrance. Oh, so they're going to try to fake a little bit of a fakey fake. But there's full vision on the bomb site. They didn't smoke CT.
JT went towards the window on B and then stopped immediately, so the comms are very good, you can see from ATK. But what's now? Bomb's been collected and there will be a third person back at the A bomb site. MIBR still have 3 grenades left. Lucas and Fallen on the ramp. And Taco in the Palace are the 3 grenades. MOTM looks away, looks back, but he doesn't get the spray. Unfamiliarity maybe with the Krieg. It does take some work and dedication. Sonic's in a weird spot now. Oh, the pre-fire. Taco's completely baited him to reveal his position. Now they fall away again, and the bomb's going back towards the B bomb site. Now, how do you call it at this point? ATK with 4 players have moved away from the B bomb site. Floppy's playing very defensively, and JT, I don't think he saw the player making his way to the ladder room, so things are becoming brittle. They don't have information, the CTs. Sonic's close to the ramp, but it's just been smoked. He can't go through that, so there's no way for him to know that MIBR are heading towards the B bomb site now.
Oh, that's unlucky for Floppy. I thought he had that one. But now JT, he's the man in the spotlight, in the limelight. He's got to deliver from this position. He's got to delay, find kills. He doesn't do either. And KNG there, able to catch Sonic on the rotation, and that's a wrap. OC has to keep the AWP now. I mean, they have loads of money. It doesn't matter at this point if he goes down. Doesn't want to give the AWP away, perhaps. Might want to just try to dispose of this.
Definitely that doesn't want to give the AWP away. Not to MIBR.
Yeah.
MIBR back and forth. Didn't come into this round with a whole lot, but look what they're leaving with. A game point. Bamboozling ATK, and there is the AWP. The last thing you want to give to somebody like KNG. He will take it. That is worst case scenario right there.
That round hurts. ATK missed 2 important kills, which if they would have had those kills in Con and in B, it probably would be 15-14 in favor of ATK, especially because MIBR had, you know, MAC-10, some pistols, and 1 SG. It's just so unfortunate. It's like the worst. It's the worst way to lose a round and possibly a match. Is that round right there? But to give a little credit to MIBR, they did work the map beautifully in terms of just poking, tossing fake smokes, finding information, Taco in the halls, 2 people underpass, and back to B.
That pre-fire shot from Taco was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And MIBR maybe leaving ATK to soak up the brine as they try to force them into a jar in this round. Various toys on the floor. And we'll get into it. Of course, we have a goodbye for ATK. We've got no more Kriegs, but with some of the sprays we've seen, that might be a good thing. MIBR with the AWP, of course. KNG has the best one possible, and he's fine with the Krieg. He's having a great time. He's 22. He's got 22 frags, and Fallen has 24. He will play passively, maybe smelling desperation, but again, ATK, their money's in the right place. Is there a flash for OC? There probably is. Now we've got some grenades offered early towards the B bomb site. Previously it was A, and MIBR will look to bamboozle ATK once again.
There comes the burst. Oh, we do get a walkout from MOTM. Oh my god, this is amazing. It's very rare that you see this push in the mid-round like this. Taco checking for it, but you don't really expect the timing. MOTM could completely crush this round if no one checks for this. Oh my goodness, he's going to take down Taco, so that's a big kill to get. He's going to try to get out of there, but there's players in mid. Doesn't have his gun out though, and now Fallen will go towards the A bomb site with the AWP, but the bomb is still in the B apartments. What is going on?
Yeah, behind the smoke. Floppy's going to be really, really key. He's got a great angle. He's away from the normal pre-fire positions. Luke is not a bomb on the radar. He's got to push. He's got to push, but no, he's going to get taken out through the window. 2 versus 2. There's plenty of time for MIBR to deal with this. JT fearing a play through the door, tries to look towards the fan where the bomb's going to be rescued, and he eats a HE when his positions are limited by those double Molotovs. Bomb being planted now for the short position. Smokes are up. Both CTs are in the market, and again, oh no. The AWP is gone now. It wasn't Fallen, but the Krieg is going to shred. How on earth do they deal with this? That's a fantastic Molotov. KNG forced back towards default. OC may have seen an elbow by the bench. It all comes down to this. This is really tense. JT poking and prodding, looking towards bench. There's the headshot. Now KNG looks away, looks to his left-hand side. OC has to deliver 1 shot with the AWP. How nervous must he be? He has a kit. He's creeping, and he's landed it. We're going to go to overtime in the first map.
Unreal. What a shot from OC. I did not expect them to come back from this one. I was ready to credit MIBR for playing incredible Counter-Strike, but ATK, the methodical, like even under all the pressure.
Dan, it's break time.
Okay. Wow. What a downer, Chase.
like Bardol. Build your own community with your very own hub. Join other hubs and play more maps competitively than ever before. Compete for prizes and win FACEIT points just by playing your favorite games. It really is that simple. Join the community or create your own. Only at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
One thing I wanted to mention at the beginning of that previous round was that with some of the plays in the underpass and such, ATK have been caught rotating through mid without really having a consideration for an MIBR player being in mid to punish them. It's happened twice now, but they've had no cover, no information, and just made wild assumptions which can be avoided or at least considered more carefully. But here we are. Overtime is here. ATK managing to take it to round 31 and beyond. MOTM is once again in connector, having a look, hearing lots of players. Look at the spray. Again, playing off the behavior now. They see the patterns. The Molotov to force him from a position, forcing him to run into their spray, and it's an early 5 versus 4 for MIBR.
The deep position from Sonic could change things, but it makes things worse. Unable to win the fight against Taka. Maybe he needs to go a bit deeper, hugging the wall or something like that, but either way, it's 2 AWPs here for ATK out of the gate, so they may want to try to get into some kind of savvy positions where they're not committed, or if they are committed, they're at least all committed all three together. Oh, an arse is spotted.
Oh, that's 2.
Both.
That's a big damage, Dan. Sorry to talk over you. 2 AWPs remain for ATK, and they can really deliver. Floppy's been spotted now, but how does he activate? Quickly, but Fallen is just as quick, if not quicker. And the numbers advantage is still held. JT's been spotted, but he just can't make that fatal connection or any at all. Through the window, he'll be tagged, and then the HE will blow him up. It was a good start from MIBR, and that's the warning. Now the question is, do ATK have the depth to adjust in overtime? They're being exploited for their habits, for their patterns in the space of one map. They've got to find a change. They've got to surprise their opponent. Again, we talk about experience, and that is another key thing. You need your plan C, you need your plan D, especially in overtime.
Yeah, I'd like to see MOTM maybe be towards ladder spot instead of always in con, because he's in con almost every other round. As you said, it's been exploited.
Fast take. Once again, Lucas more or less doing the same thing. He picked up the kill on MOTM in the previous round, as you just mentioned, but he's elsewhere this time. MOTM is towards the window, and it's a fast take of connector from MIBR. What is the adjustment here from ATK? They rotate OC to ticket. That's the typical way you deal with the T's taking connector. The ticket peak into connector is extremely strong. Of course, there are lots of ways to deal with it. If you expect it, it's one thing. We get MIBR now rotating back towards A ramp and Palace. And MIBR have shown this round a bunch of times. This is one of the most classic rounds that you can have on this map. It's basic, it's simple, but it's extremely effective. We'll see if ATK can deliver us some form of a defense. They are very spread out.
45 seconds on the clock. MIBR have changed the pace. No one's really taking any damage just yet. OC was on 98, now he's on a lot less, but the first frag goes the way of ATK. OC protecting Sonic in the fireboxes. But can they convert? They're doing a really good job of it. Sonic now with a multi-frag situation. That's 11 HP, still a nuisance, and he's forcing Fallen to be fully exposed. There's no way out from Fallen if he tries to take out Sonic, and he'll be denied. A 4K from Sonic in a what MIBR must have thought was a one-and-done situation, but trying to take out Sonic was actually their undoing in that round.
Presence of mind for OC to hold after this kill's made, to actually turn to look at Palace to see if there's a refragger that's going to swing after Sonic gets that first kill. That's amazing. That's like they had an awful setup to defend that A split. A 2-1-2, you're super spread out across the map, yet they still managed to pull it off because of the way they cover each other. That's amazing. Well played.
Great work indeed here. Looks like MIBR is heading for a Halls pop here, which might work because ATK only has 2 people. Actually, 1 person in the bomb site is playing passive.
That's super deep towards B. Sonic doing some damage, but well, let's see if it's enough. MOTM up there quickly, looking towards Connector, but he can't quite find a connection with KNG. KNG on the creek has been a problem on MIBR's T side. He's been causing all kinds of havoc. Fallen trying to get the bomb plant. He's got some cover from his teammate. 1 by default, 1 by Connector. And there is the bomb planted. Now what kind of post-plant positions will they take? Fallen falls back to Tetris to look at T-spawn. Fur is more or less on the site still. ATK got to be careful, they're blocking each other somewhat. And Fur has eyes on Floppy's position. A little jiggle from him. Will they have it? He's got the support flashbang to swing. That is good synergy. The trades will continue. Fur on the site, but where is KNG? There he is from the back. And that will allow MIBR to have a 1-round lead as they look to switch sides in overtime.
Wow, both teams, like I feel like MIBR is playing a lot better CS. They're kind of forced to because ATK are playing some really good CS. One of the cool things about ATK is the way they're like you see that position with jungle where Far's like holding it. You feel like that player's gonna walk into it, but there's even in all the chaos, the guy waits for a flashbang to cross that one position. It's you know, there's a lot of detail. I'm really enjoying it. Sounds like I'm hyping him up, but I think it's just because we don't expect to see such good CS from a team of players that we had never really thought were part of the conversation until this season.
Interesting that smoke, the Molotov is not catching the smoke. Usually it does with the one that Sonic threw. Which is a standard default from ATK. They have a heavy middle, 3 people, kind of a 1-3-1 setup.
First deep in the corner, OC being patient, but how long will you wait for the pick? It was close. Fur was slow enough to avoid that shot, the blind shots, which can prove very effective. Way to the balcony, it is. Fade away exchange of grenades, and ATK have taken, well, they've shown some presence towards B. They have denied information. MOTM with those dry peaks with the Krieg. He's only got 4 kills on his stat track gun. Maybe he bought some new skins for the FACEIT showcase. Is he brave enough to creep through jungle? He is racing towards the site. Hey, Ola, it seems, and they're walking into the meat grinder, but they've got one of their own. KNG now and CT looking for the right angles, and Floppy pops out from out of nowhere. 2-man rotation into CT. Oh, Floppy's got to be forced back from the flames. He goes for the re-peek with no grenades whatsoever. I don't know if he heard some sound cues. Fallen jumping straight into Sonic's crosshair, and that is a bait setup because OC is by jungle, but Taco is ready for it. Taco again is going to get so close, but not close enough. 17 apiece. First team to 19 to take the first map.
That was a clencher right there.
No kidding, man. That's so rough.
I can't just imagine Floppy re-peek and spawn in that situation. It's so wild.
It's one of those spots where you were starting to see especially as you get into overtime, like the nerves start to come in a little bit, like your focus gets a little bit shaky in these chaotic situations.
True, and we also see the people coming from spawn. He doesn't, so we get a little anxious.
Yeah.
It looks like MIBR, they're reverting to the double op setup again. Now, ATK, they have to find this out, smoke pieces, if that's the case.
creep begins, and it's like MIBR are ready for this. Actually, Fur falls back because of the smoke grenades. Look at the timing. That's going to open things up for the connector. The players come through connector. It's a push top mid. They have no idea about these two players sneaking in through connector. Now they go through jungle. The trade is there. It's ready to go. And there's a smoke on the jungle position. Now, how do they progress forward? Lucas is forced out of his position. It's very, very tentative stuff, but somehow ATK are getting the kills they need to progress.
The last ticks of that Molotov, really unfortunate for Lucas. He thought he was safe. OC going for the involves default plant. KNG creeping, Fallen creeping. A crouch peek from MOTM, and he'll be punished for looking for information. He seeked, he found, and now he's dead. Sonic in fireboxes, one of his favorite spots. Going for a gamble. He goes up, he goes down, he takes out KNG, and he repositions. Hasn't been seen. Spots Fallen by the stairs. Can they play off of each other? You've got Taco swinging. He's looking for the trade frag. Sonic moves around into a very vulnerable situation, but he runs out of bullets. OC, that's a huge frag from him, and we are so low on time. Fallen's got to get on the bomb, but it's surely too late. He's got to run for it. It'll make it expensive. I can't believe there's time. Surely there isn't time for it. Less than a second. It's so close, but he's denied. MIBR will lose everything as ATK get to map points.
I cannot believe how close these rounds are between these two teams. Unreal. They're actually in a position to win it. I can't believe it. So many small margins again. The plays, the tees. Sonic around this, the triple box. Around the triple box, that play, but then running out of bullets. It's just, I can't take it. I cannot take this. Can someone please win already?
That defuse kit, maybe 2 footsteps away from a round for MIBR. But here we are. It's triple MP9 and 2 Deagles. It's one thing for MIBR to use experience and depth on their T side to outmaneuver ATK, but on the CT side, that is a very different affair. As you can see, Fallen is already very deep into Palace. Now, can he pick some good timing for a flank? Sonic's got to be careful. Lucas goes through the smoke, and somehow Lucas has position now and the rifle.
How does that work? That's a pretty big yikes moment for Sonic. See how impactful it is. Well, now that duel's been lost,
the dream is collapsing.
Yes, it is looking very impactful.
These, again, we speak about depth and so on. This is where your depth comes in. Your 3 versus 5. How do you turn this around versus the upper echelons of Counter-Strike teams? How do you do it? Taco has an off angle. Floppy will check for him, but of course the MP9 will win the duel. OC with the AWP has to go down to the pistol, and he's down to a 1 versus 3. This is a disaster for ATK of a very big magnitude, and there is Lucas to finish off the job. MIBR came into that with pots and pans. They came into that throwing shoes at their opponents, and somehow we head to a second overtime. And these are great examples of why this was clearly going to be an awesome matchup on paper. The styles, where MIBR are at the moment, what they have to draw upon, i.e. experience and so on, ATK's hunger for it. Overtime number 2, and it's just the first map.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is like I feel like if ATK start off this series with a win, I think all 3 maps ATK can play every single map, and so can MIBR. But ATK, I think like if they get that first win in the board, I think the pressure goes away a bit for them as the underdog, that they can kind of do it and they can just play their game from that point forward. So we'll see if they are able to close things down. That's part of that experience that Jane's talking about as well. It's enough to get close, but can you win? Got to be able to close. Slow default from ATK. Really slow actually, considering the pace we've seen before. Timing isn't taking connector and so on, and you can see the underpass play from Fallen. He's absolutely guaranteed this frag. It's always going to be a walk peak pretty much. It's easy for the AWP.
Look at the difference in approach on how Fallen tries to escape this position versus what we see from ATK on their CT side. A lot safer. He'll use his utility, some support from his teammates where necessary without overextending. And they retain a 5 versus 4. Floppy tries to move in towards the A bomb site with his teammates, but this looks like it's going to be highly variable for one of the teams. Trades in connector. JT will fall, as will Fallen. Got some smoke grenades on the fly, 37 seconds left, and they're just waiting, MIBR. They're simply waiting. They have the advantages, they've got the numbers, and they're just waiting for ATK to move into their crosshairs and then execute them. Fade away HE grenade, and Fur will fall back, but of course Fur will go back again because it's Fur. And there's 19 for MIBR. Have ATK run out of ideas on their T side in overtime number 2?
Looks like it so far, and that pick by Fallen at the start, really frustrating for MOTM. Just walking, there's like 1 minute, 10 seconds left in the round. There's Fallen hiding in an underpass with AWP all by himself. I'm not a big fan of ATK's just kind of spread out default. Seems to be an early pick for MIBR.
Once again, just like we saw in normal time, the race up short. Last time it was one person, it was a fake towards, it was a fake on B for a play towards A. This time it's 2 players. Again, they've got the 4 versus 4, but these peaks from MIBR continue to be successful. AWPs are nigh on unstoppable. 34 frags for Fallen. And KNG is close to the 30 between his AWP and the Krieg that he's been also using on either side. Everything slows down. We head towards the 1 minute mark and ATK will creep towards A.
So much to be done here. It feels like they're really fighting an uphill struggle now. MIBR, this again, this overtime experience really counts for so much. And there's a great pick from Fallen. Timing to check A ramp could not have been better. Now it's a 2 versus 4 for ATK. 40 seconds to get the bomb down. MIBR passively holding every angle with the orbs, and I don't know what they can do to stop it. MOTM in blown, and he will fall 2 rounds in a row for MIBR in overtime 2. They're looking like they are...
They're in the driving seat.
Exactly, yeah.
MIBR are in the driving seat now, and they seem to have turned ATK into a toddler on the child seat in the back, because they seem absolutely helpless here in overtime number 2. MIBR, again, they're just absorbing information. They're seeing habits. They're learning the shortcomings of their opponent. And again, they have so much more depth. They've been in these scenarios way more many times, under way more pressure. And they will use that experience to take these off angles. They're just inviting ATK, walk into my crosshair. That's been the state of the game at the moment. Furs now, it's his turn to make a play in the underpass, and OC's not going to check it properly. And he's carrying the bomb. Why didn't he check it? Oh my god, Fur has devastated ATK, and KNG will make inroads towards the B apartments in the meantime. And again, it's back to the jiggling, but it's just really feels like the end of the line, at least on the T side for ATK. It might be a relief once they get to the CT side at this point, because a reset is most certainly required. MOTM walks through the smoke to his doom, and JT wonders what he could possibly do in this situation. The bomb is lost. There are 2 CTs crawling around it. And still some guys hanging out on A, but as he's heard by KNG, that rotation will surely begin, or they'll keep eyes on short at the very least. KNG creeping. The longer he waits, the worse it gets, JT. He has a minute on the clock. Taco's here now. The footsteps will distract him, but there will be so many more in just a few seconds. Fallen makes his way towards market. KNG will creep and use the AWP like a shotgun. 3 from 3 for MIBR. ATK absolutely shut down in that half.
Surprised ATK, as you said, did not check that underpass. I mean, you're in top B halls, you get flashed. That should be a big tell, because that is an unusual FB to be hitting you, especially in that deep B halls. As we saw OC look like he was blind on the screen for a split second. Why would you be blind there?
It's so funny because you make me think of these like people who just dump utility and bugs, and you're like, why you flash me? Like you threw a flash beyond the smoke, and nothing's going to happen. Why are you throwing it? And it's, yeah, but of course at this level, everything has a purpose behind it. You've got to be using your utility effectively, as it's not Pug CS, and indeed there definitely were some tells. It's not beyond ATK to formulate a comeback here, but I feel like at this point, it seems unlikely. I feel like there's a tipping point for MIBR where indeed that experience and confidence starts to play a part. And ATK are really fighting desperately now from behind, making more mistakes than their opposition, and being punished.
Yeah, it's cool to watch MIBR kind of solve. It's like they're Poirot on the server, and they figured out what's going on. MOTM again with a dry peek. I don't think there was a flashbang that time, but Sonic will try to do something about it. Lucas and Taco taken out in mid. Now it's time for ATK to stabilize.
There's a lot of info as well. You know, hearing that spamming, you know, one more's in mid. That is so much info. They were trying to make their way towards connector. Now actually first crept out of connector, of course. Ooh, there we go. That's looking like a round for ATK right now. But I can't do much with this position. I think MIBR already needed an integrity of numbers towards connector, but they got shut down by Sonic. See, you guys didn't see this, but Eric was making a throttling motion with his hands around the neck of MOTM, I presume.
He's invested. He's invested. It's good.
I'm the coach. I'm telling you, stop peeking, stop peeking, stop peeking.
Question of damage maybe for Fur. 3 players remaining. He actually has time to do this now. What kind of pre-fire is he going to go for as he just smokes off the bomb? It's the wildest pre-fire he's ever seen, but he will not escape. That's all fine. MIBR with 2 more map points. ATK need to focus. Forget about the nightmare of the T side. Credit to MIBR for creating that nightmare. It is Halloween after all.
Creating the nightmare.
Does ATK have a coach?
They have a player on the server.
Who is it?
TNC. Not familiar with that username, but let's focus on the round for now because MIBR look to be making inroads towards the A site immediately. The whole team is here on the ramp, and we've got the counter grenades from ATK. JT will play close to the smoke. If MIBR tries to push, that'll be a problem. First seems to have, I mean, how's he going to not reveal the sounds of this? Well, there we go. JT will eat it, but they're lining up for him and OC. So far, so good. A spray, well, a shot through the smoke from Fallen with the AWP, some jiggling from JT, but there are the numbers here. Look at the turnaround. What has happened? It was a 3 versus 5, now it's a 3 versus 2. Floppy and Sonic are in a lot of trouble, being hit by wine bottles and flashbangs. Sonic will not have any position. How does he peek this? There's a gap in the smoke, but he's gonna have the shot. How on earth has he done that? There's a smoke for Floppy. He can try to put it on one of these choke points. There's a flashbang, some jump peaks, Fallen by Tetris as he likes to be, and that smoke is beyond him.
They've cleared pretty much everything around the site, and they've got to understand where it is by a process of deduction, elimination, and it will be the eliminations going the way of MIBR, but Sonic can't get it done, and it's Fallen to lock it in to secure it in overtime too. MIBR will weather the test. What a test it was against ATK.
And that's just the first map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice comeback from MIBR. ATK had the lead. They started off hot, and then they started slowing down. I think towards the last half of the T side, things got too fast, too out of hand, and I think that's when you need to start calling your timeouts, reassess the situation, and what's going. Like, why isn't it working? Why aren't stuff working? Talk about it.
Absolutely, well, a very exciting game of Counter-Strike. Again, you can see the youth of ATK, you can see the shortcomings versus the experience of MIBR, the absorption of information, the punishing, the exploitation from MIBR. It was great to watch the development of the knowledge in that game and how they used it to their advantage, and how they just laid traps for ATK towards the end in that second overtime for the T side of ATK. It was a great story. It was almost a 3-part story in one map. And again, that is just the first one. That's Mirage in the bag for MIBR. And I'm sure they've learned a lot about these players, their tendencies and the mistakes they can often make. And that will have a part to play in the maps to come, I'm sure. Fallen, 38 kills, almost 4,000 damage. What's going on there? A great game to start off with on Mirage. I thought it was a really good matchup. I thought it would be one of the games of the week, and it certainly has kicked off in that way. I think that might be the best map we've seen this week so far. Yeah. And there's plenty more Counter-Strike to come. We will head to a break. When we're back, we'll see if ATK can turn it around and bring it to a third map. We'll see you back here soon.